It's 8 o'clock, and I'm using a limited battery source. I'm going to go ahead and start. Um, so, oh, awesome. Video cast. Antonio's given us his input here.
From Antonio the Mute.
Am I still duplicating?
Hang on. We have to talk with you, not muted, to tell.
No, it sounds fine.
I don't hear an echo from anybody.
Yeah, now we're fine.
It's good.
Excellent.
Alrighty, so we can start. Thank you everyone for coming, by the way. And thank you to Mr. Alexander for getting this up and running since I am without power. Right, the July letter starts with a new name and device for an hard merch Morkant. Clients requesting a 2nd and 3rd century Welsh name. Sources from St. Gabriel reports or the name elements.
I know Bronwyn was talking of joining us, and she would know about the Welsh pronunciation, I would think.
Gotcha.
I figured it'd be pretty easy. Just grab a mouthful of marbles when you try.
Right.
So cruel.
Well, that's why the Welsh kept losing to everybody in wars, is because by the time they got a battle command out, they'd lost.
You're very cruel.
Well, am I wrong? Have you seen some of those town names? They have to run around and pick up a different one entirely.
The train station.
Basil.
When you need the train to go by to fit your town name in.
The documents look good, and we didn't find any conflict with the name. Vinesheart did mention that the names may not reach the request for authenticity, but it would still be registerable.
Well, we wouldn't throw it back because it wasn't authentic if we don't have any Welsh women's names from the 2nd and 3rd century. Is that the case?
No, he's saying that it's just the records that since Wales was at that time under Roman domination, any records from that time are in Latin. You would expect then the registered names from that time period would be in Latin, and then any name reconstructed from Latin to Welsh would not meet her request for authenticity. But that's not anything to send it back for. That's just noting what was in the
Bronwyn, we are talking about a Welsh name.
Okay, let me get my Oscar up so that I can do it. I slipped up and I'm a slacker and I just thought that it was 8 o'clock.
It's okay. We started on time because I'm have the power out and running on limited laptop battery. So.
I was wondering why you were hiding in the dark. Okay, let me get the...
So, yeah, we're just on the first one here. We can go ahead and jump onto the device while this just Ronald's looking in on the name.
Okay.
Vert, Onsaltier, Sable, Finbreed, Argent, a Swan, Rousant, Proper.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it up now. Okay, let's see.
Oh, it's Roussant.
Right.
It means it's the bird's equivalent of salient, facing dexter and rising. But it
Correct.
should.
You rarely
Yeah,
see
it
it.
should one is.
You rarely see it with anything but swans for some reason, but
And this is a swan, so.
well, stylistically it looks fine.
Yeah. Lion's didn't find conflicts, and same with Antonio. So, I believe her device looks good.
I wonder if they actually meant a 12th or 13th century Welsh name. Because their documentation doesn't approach 2nd or 3rd.
I could find out.
I don't think it's relevant.
Maybe. No, I mean, it's still, like, either way, it's registerable,
Yeah.
you know? So, which is the important part.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, I mean, it says 2nd or 3rd century Welsh. That would be hard to come by because there really wasn't a Wales at the time.
That can't be right.
Well, they say in the quotations after that, as early as that's not a word.
Documentable?
No,
Documentionality or something. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, they want to make the name as early as we can possibly document it.
Right. So
Uh,
in that case, then but yeah, it's meant to be 2nd and 3rd. So.
Well, Murch was the earliest form of the daughter of, so it would be that one.
Okay.
And that's fine. That's the one she asked for.
Right.
Yep.
And Morcant is a very early version of Morgan.
Right.
It's just that the documentation they provided the decade or the century she wants are 800 years apart.
Yeah, but we can send it up as early as it can be documented, which is basically 11th, 12th century, and see what Pelican wants to do with it.
I don't think it'll be a problem. It's just.
I mean, she says as early as you can document it, and if as early as we can document it is 11th century,
Yeah.
we will have been fulfilling her basic requirements.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And on the device, the beak and the feet are red. It's a small element, but it does tend to disappear. But
Yeah,
I guess
that's an artistic. That's an artistic.
Okay.
Yeah, just artistic.
They could
detail.
go a little lighter if they needed to. Okay.
Yeah.
There's enough of a bird there you can tell it's a swan without that being.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah, I don't.
Welcome, Your Highness.
Her Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, I'm so sorry. I
Hello.
partially got it right. I'm living in the past. I'm living 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to Your Majesty and to Taryn. It looks like it just joined us.
More and more. Hello,
Hi,
Antonio.
guys.
Hello, everyone.
We were just doing the first one in the letter. And so far, everything looks to be good with this one. Both name device. So I think that we can send both of those up.
There's no reason not to.
And all right. So that brings us to number 2. This is the resubmission device for Anne Hogan. This one was returned because it had a little itty bit of red in the handle, and so we took out that little bit of red and resubmitted it.
Right. That stops it from being a...
Well, I want to go on record as saying that little blurb is in the middle of the flame, so I thought you should fill it in. To me, it was just an artistic detail, and it should not have been returned over a little tiny red dot that they could have just given you an artistic note on.
Well, probably not, but better safe than sorry when sending something up. They can always...
No, it was formally returned.
It was
Laurel
returned
over that.
at Laurel. Yeah. So, anyway.
So they didn't say anything about the martlet's feet not being shown as non-existent.
It says if the small generic bird does not have feet showing and does not have some other clear attribute of a different type of bird, such as a bird's tuft, and the bird is in a posture found for most types of birds, it is acceptable to blazon it as a mark.
Okay, that was my main concern with this one.
So they were okay with it being called the martlet, the candle. So we have resubmitted it, and Turbine Sinister Nebulae Azure and Vert a Marlet Volant Candle Ore, which fixes the problem, and so we can send that one up.
And they, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No problem with that one.
And she was okay with that change, of course, so. Yeah, so that one we will send up to resubmission. Number 3, Declan Finn, new name. Irish, 5th century Irish request here. And documentation was kind of wimpy, but we have fleshed it out for us. Give us the Finn by name meaning and
Yeah, the fact that Declan was used multiple times in the SCR Memorial is not documentation. But it is listed. I see that Ogris said it was found in OCM.
Yes, and she gave us the link there. And in Maria's, yes.
Okay, and this Anne Finn is the pre-1700 form, so that's closer to the 500 form. So,
yeah, with this information, it's registrable, but it may not be authentic for
is Finn being used as a descriptive? Because we're talking about probably a Gaelic name here, and there's no designator whether it's son of or anything like that. It's 2 given names. Let's see.
Well, we do have the name comment from Juetta Coppin that Finn is a by name, meaning fair.
That's why I was asking if it was possibly being used as a descriptive. So yeah,
That's
okay.
where it was. That's where Ogris found it, was descriptive by
Cool,
names.
cool. That works then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about Declan the Fair, basically, so you don't need the patronymic or anything.
Okay.
That
Gotcha.
should be okay.
Hey, we have Prince Bailey in too.
Huh?
Sorry.
We have Prince Bailey in too.
So,
He's doing puzzles.
The,
Okay.
so we're gonna we'll use the added documentation that was fleshed out for us by the commenters, and then send that one up.
Now the documentation that she supplied is definitely that they supplied is definitely preferable to what they started off with.
Yes. All right.
Yes, because prior registration is not documentation. Otherwise, we'd still be using Gandalf.
Number 4 is Eric Griffin. And this is the new device, prevents sinister ghouls in Azure, a Griffin Passant Sinister, or a Griffin Passant Argent.
That's not passant.
No.
The Griffin is Seagent.
And we also had an issue with the forms not being done on the right shape. And
Well, the redraw looks good.
yeah, so we did it. I did the redraw, and that was approved by the submitter. So we have a new blaze in those.
Now, question: for the Griffin Seagent, do they usually have the wings displayed or folded? Do we need to blazon the wings or anything like that on this one? Because I've seen some that were with wings folded along their backs when they were seated.
Well, Lionheart said that he based the blazon on that of Calivlor in Skylicorn, whose emblazon uses griffins identical to these.
Okay, cool. That should work.
Don't know how long ago that was, but
Yeah.
I think it's probably easier to recognize the griffins with their wings up like that.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely so. We need because otherwise it looks a little bit.
Yeah, they look like-
But this. I think a reblazon on this along with the redraw would be okay.
Okay, sorry.
those wings look like they match the one in the pick stick relatively closely.
Yeah, I'd say the griffins look good. So, we have,
Because male griffins have wings.
Yeah.
I get to tell him that at some point, don't I?
Right, but the male yeah. But that's a winged griffins are the default. So.
Well, yeah, but those are girl griffins.
all right, so we have we would reblazon this to the Griffin, Sinister Ghouls in Azure, 2 Griffins, Sagent Expected, 4-leg raised, or an Argent.
Sounds good.
So this one can be sent up with the new emblazon and the new blazon approved by the submitter, the emblazon approved by the submitter, which we'll notate in the letter.
Can I tell him?
And,
Can I tell him?
Can you tell him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you say yes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Why not let it be a surprise? Keep them in suspense. Knights love that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well.
Okay, so with those two changes, we will send that one on up. And we have number 5, a new name, Marcellus Carpentarius.
Okay.
Documentation provided. Golden Dolphin gave us also Marcellus from IGI.
Okay, we've got Marcellus as a Flemish name, and Carpentarius as from the Binding Scott of the Lace Subsidy Rolls for Rutland, England.
But if you keep going down, you'll see that whereas Golden Dolphin added the FamilySearch.org, that there was a Marcellus in 1547 in Oxford. So they're both
good.
English.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and we also have Carpentarius found in Rainey and Wilson too. So,
yeah. So we should be good to go on that one.
Yeah.
I think if you use Ogress's documentation, it'll be better because they're closer together in years.
In years, yeah.
Yes, they are. 1381, 1377, 81, yeah.
Okay. So with that one, we can use our beefed up documentation.
Now we can get 14th century on
And
that.
yes.
Yeah, because there's no mention of what kingdom that he wants Welsh or Flemish. He just wants that particular name.
Name is from
Right, but right. So it's not. It doesn't necessarily. Yeah. So, but we can make it a wholly English name from.
I don't see any indication that he's looking for a specific culture.
Nope. So, okay, with that one, adding in the documentation, that one is good to go.
Should be able to go.
All right. Ooh, I'm getting down to the wire on my little power bar. Okay.
The only question I have on that is, did he actually specify on the forums what sound it was that he was looking for?
I can look that up real quick and see. Sometimes they don't. They just
often they don't.
Usually they don't. I find that if you say you want that sound matters, you have to tell them.
Quite often in commentary.
Write out what you think it sounds like.
Quite often in commentary, I've heard them say, well, I don't think it's going to sound the way he thinks it's going to sound, and I'm always like, they're going to pronounce it however they want to anyway, so what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing was indicated on the form as to what kind of sound.
Yeah. And if they're going to do it in a Latin word like this, a Latin name like this, they're going to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah. All right, guys, I have 4 minutes left, so if we can get the last one done real quick, and you guys can
before you go dark.
It's content, but I might have to dip out when my battery dies out.
What happened to your power?
The storm came through and took it all out. So.
Okay, that's quick and dirty. Okay.
Yeah.
Seeger Ulfgerson.
Seeger Ulfgerson, Norse name, and let's see. Frida gave us said the patronymic is correctly formed. And looks like there was a typo. Looks like there's an extra G in the first name.
Looks like it needs an extra G.
It needs an that's what I meant. It needs an extra G. So
another R. So it's down a G and an R.
Well,
it has the R's.
It might start with 2 R's, but then when it turns into a patronym, does it lose an R?
Drops an R and S.
Yep.
But she says that the Norse form of the name Ulfger only has 1 G. I'm
All
not
right, so
seeing. I'm not
Siggeir-
seeing a double G anything.
Siggeir has 2.
Oh, Seeger. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong name. Yes, that needs an extra G.
And changes are allowed.
Okay, good.
You can make that change.
I'm sorry. I really need some new glasses. I have to keep leaning in and trying to focus on the screen.
Okay. So with the documentation, we will add second choose the first name. And other than that, it is good to go. And
Safe. Her battery died.
Yeah, I was about to say. She said it sounds like she's good to go, and all the stuff she's
And
got.
I'm safe. Please safe.
I think
Well,
we
maybe
managed to
maybe one
squeak
of you former submissions heralds can write down whatever we talk about afterwards.
Say what?
Maybe one of you former submission heralds can tell her what happens afterwards and what our decision was on this.
Okay. Former submission heralds. That leaves it to me and Bronwyn.
Correct. That way I'm not on that list.
Personally, I say send it up as it is. It looks good to go.
Yeah, the
Add the extra
header
G.
the header spelling does not match the documentation spelling. That's an easy fix. We just we change it and we notate it and
as long as he allows changes,
yeah, that's
and which she said that he did, then we should be good to go.
I noticed on other kingdoms submissions that on the top they'll say everybody allows changes unless it's stated for that particular person that they don't. Maybe that's something we should do too, instead of having to worry about it.
That's a cipher policy. Hey, Beacon's here. He can decide that.
say what?
Beacon's here. He can decide that. It looks like we've lost the queen.
I think so.
Fiora says thank you for participating, everyone.
Okay, good.
Good.
And Kendall thinks Beacon can make that cipher's policy.
Bronwyn,
I can twist his wrist really easily too.
What?
I could twist his wrist really easily. I think he'll do it.
Okay.
If I'll make a comment about it at some point, I'm sure. Rosman, if you'd email us and make the suggestion, that way I'll remember that it has to be done.
Okay, I have a pen someplace, but I need you to restate it, so I will be the emailer. So I suggest to you.
You were the one that who brought it up, and better than me asking you to repeat it, just
What I brought up was about Ulf Geir.
Can we say bye-bye, YouTube?
No,
Okay.
you said that on other kingdoms that.
Okay, I'm going to
the one that said that.
Oh, okay, that suggestion.